Dear friends, welcome to this video capsule during which we will talk about the 8th commandment. As we have already discussed the 9th and the 10th, this is the last of the commandments which remains for us to cover. The object of the 8th commandment is our relationship to the truth, and it is formulated as follows. You shall not bear false witness against your neighbor. You shall not bear false witness means that we must always tell the truth to the best of our ability, and therefore avoid any lies, be they big or small. We will illustrate the meaning of this commandment with 2 short examples. Mary, who is 10 years old, is in the kitchen with her little brother John, who is 3 years old. Mary is distracted that day, and inadvertently she drops a plate on the floor, and it breaks into 1,000 pieces. Hearing the shattering noise, their mother rushes in. After ensuring that no one is hurt, she asks what happened. Mary, embarrassed by her blunder, thinks for a moment of accusing her little brother to save her reputation. But she immediately rejects that thought and humbly confesses her clumsiness. Understanding that this is an accident, her mom forgives her with a smile and invites her to be more careful in the future. Mary is reassured and peace settles in her heart. Now, if, on the contrary, she had accused her little brother, she would have borne a false witness, and surely she would have felt the weight of this lie on her conscience. Someone who lies distorts his relationship with others, and he does not feel good in his own heart. The 10 Commandments are a verbal expression of our natural conscience, and God gave them to us to help us to live in harmony with it, and thus experience inner joy and freedom. Let us now consider another example, this time from Life of Love. Pierre, Marie-Paule's son, is 11 years old. He has a friend who is an orphan and who often comes to play at his house. One fine day, this friend hurriedly arrived and said to Pierre, "Quick, I surprised a thief in the church. He went out by the sacristy door and is going towards the cemetery. Come and help me find him." Marie-Paule, who overheard the conversation, advises them to go and warn the parish priest instead. So that's what they do, and then all go in search of the thief, but they cannot find him. On the other hand, they find the consecrated host that had been stolen. A few weeks later, the same friend, accompanied by a cousin, invites Pierre to join them for a bicycle ride. Together, they go to the shrine of Our Lady of Etchemin. They enter, and Pierre kneels down. But his friend goes forward and jumps over a small barrier in order to access the sacristy. He invites his cousin and Pierre to follow him. Pierre is alerted because this is not allowed, and he immediately leaves the shrine. And this is how he discovers the real thief. It was Pierre's friend himself, the same who had made up the story of the stolen hosts. To remain friends with him, Pierre could have followed him when he entered the sacristy, even though he knew it was forbidden, or he could have said nothing to his mother to save his friendship. But would he have been in the truth? And would he have had a clear conscience? In addition, the best thing to do to help his friend end his bad behavior was to reveal the truth. Sometimes it can be our duty to speak up or show through our actions that we disagree with somebody we are close to, even though it can end a friendship. In certain situations, saying nothing or doing nothing can also be a false witness to the truth. Concerning Pierre's friend, Life of Love does not report what happened next, but it is permissible to think that a good confession helped him straighten out. To these examples, let us add that our faithfulness to the truth must also prevail over our desire to win the admiration of our peers. For this purpose, we may be tempted on occasion to exaggerate our sporting exploits or modify certain elements of the stories we have lived or heard. We must resist these temptations while taking refuge at the same time in the beautiful virtue of humility. In general, the spirit of the 8th commandment also requires us to respect our promises and commitments to God and our neighbor. Breaking or even neglecting them is equivalent to turning into a lie the word we had given in the past. Dear friends, strengthened by the knowledge of the truth of the 10 commandments, let us always follow the light they project along our path. To follow the 10 commandments, it is to follow Jesus Christ and Marie-Paule, one action at a time, one prayer at a time, one word at a time, until one day we meet them in God. Thank you for your attention. Next week, we will see with Marie-Paule that the spirit of the 10 commandments is at the base of the community of the Lady of all peoples. It will find its perfection in the commandment of love, namely, love one another as I have loved you. Now I give you my blessing. May all the divinity bless you, and all your loved ones, the Father and the Son, the Mother and the Daughter, in the unity of the Spirit. Amen.